Alright, so we got some polling information for you guys. It's been a little bit since I've done a video about polling, but I wanted to wait until some more came out. And Abacus and Nanos have had come out with a couple polls recently, and the interesting thing about it is the results are very, very different. And as we all know, Nanos is a little bit left-leaning bias, and Abacus, well, they're very, very accurate at predicting elections. So let's have a look. Now, before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really does help grow the channel, and I appreciate you guys so much for doing that for me. So this new Nanos poll, and I'm going to try to do this with a straight face. I'm going to try not to laugh, but I don't know. Liberals at 45%, okay, a little bit of a bump. Conservatives at 30%. NDP back up to 12. Bloc at 6. Greens at 2.9. PPC at 1.5. Others, all the other independents at 1.3. And it's showing -1 because Nanos, ever since the election, has basically been saying that the conservative support has fallen off a cliff. Now, I have reported on one of those Nanos polls, or a few of those Nanos polls actually, and I get a lot of comments saying, hey, this isn't accurate, and I agree. The fact that the NDP is already up 12 doesn't really make any sense. They've done nothing to bring voters back. They're still broke. They still don't have a leader. It's going to take some time. And the Conservatives going from 41 to 3rd, that's 11 points. I know, Pierre lost his riding. I know, he's not in the House of Commons. He wasn't able to participate in the first session of question period. I understand. But it seems suspicious to me. Now, again, it's Nano, so as soon as you read that name, you're going to be suspicious. And here's the modeled poll. 216 seats for the Liberals, 93 for the Conservatives, 19 for the NDP. Plus 12? That's weird. The Bloc at 11, -11. Okay, and then the Greens at 3, plus 2. There's a lot of data here that just really doesn't make sense. And I believe a week or two before the election, Nanos had the Liberals winning by a massive majority as well. And then how'd that go? Now, back to a way more accurate pollster. New Abacus data poll posted today. Liberals at 42, about even. Conservatives 39, down just a couple points. I can see him being down, the Conservatives being down a little bit, because like I said, Pierre's not around right now. NDP at 7, -1. Bloc at 6, even. Green at 3%, even. PPC 1, others at 1. Okay. There's not that much of a switch, right? And that's what makes sense, because, again, the NDP hasn't done enough to bring voters back. And yeah, Pierre losing his riding sucks. But they also got 41% of the votes for a reason, and they gained 24 seats. So it's not like the Conservatives completely flopped here. And by the way, 41% for the Conservatives is very, very good. Pierre even said after the election, hey, if you told us we were going to get 41%, I'd say, well, that's pretty ambitious. Usually the Conservatives don't get anywhere near that. They almost won the 2021 election, and they only got like 34% of the vote. The last time the Conservatives got 41% or more was in 1988. Okay, that's the year I was born. I'm 36, so it's been a long time. So to say that, Pierre did a bad job, his support's flopping, and he's failing, and he's done, he's a lame duck, these people are morons. The only reason they're saying it is because they're scared of him. They want him to be gone. Time for a new conservative leader. Yeah, because you want a liberal basically in there. Okay, conservatives don't want a liberal, right? Liberals, would you want a conservative as your leader? No. You don't want liberals leading every major party. That would be horrible, because then all you would get would be liberal governments. And then, Abacus data, more information. And then Brian, I don't know how to say that, Braggett? Sorry if I butchered your name, Brian, but he says, here you go. Carney is indeed popular right now, but Pierre Poilievre is not in free fall. Stop relying on Nanos for anything. I agree. 42% for well, that's showing the vote share. And then David Coletto posted this. Let me see if I have a better. No, okay. So, impression of Pierre Poilievre. Negative is in the red. So back of June 11, so 2 years ago, he was negative 40%, and positive was 32%. He's 8 points in the hole there. Not very good. Then as he becomes leader, I think that he was leader at this point, but as his leadership kind of continued, he started to do a lot better. And then got up to 40% as Trudeau started to really screw things up. And then you see him kind of up and down a little bit here, up to 42 there. And then when the election started to come around, and the Trump tariffs and the mainstream media and people thinking that Pierre is just like Trump and yada yada yada, all that nonsense that they were fooled with, he started to become more unpopular again. But that's likely because Carney became more popular, not because people started to hate Pierre. Yes, there are people who hate Pierre. Okay, this is liberal sheep Canada we're talking about. There's a lot of them here. Of course, not all Canadians are like that. That's why the Conservatives got 41%. But the left-wing parties combined for about 50. Okay? So about half the country right now is full of sheep. So yeah, of course you're going to see his numbers go up. The negative numbers go up here. And they got pretty high. Like 46% disapproval rating. Not good. But now that the election's over, he's actually at 41. Negative is 42. So he's right there. He's -1. Right where he was, -7 here. -4, -7. You know what I mean? It was getting a little bit ugly there because of Mark Carney's presence, the fact that he came in and was this new leader, and apparently he's an outsider. I mean, they lied so much about him. He lied all throughout his campaign. I'm going to be tough on Trump, and then as soon as he meets him, he just kisses his ass. We all knew it was bullshit, but so many people believed it, and there we have it, right? But either way, this is very good news, because when you see these polls saying that Pierre's popularity has fallen off and now he's going to have a leadership review in January, I think a lot of people are getting worried about his status as the Conservative leader. But when Abacus, an actual good pollster, not just a pollster I like, but a good, accurate pollster, they have a very good track record, says our data doesn't suggest Pierre Poilievre's support is in freefall. His favorability is stable at 41% positive. It is tied. And 41% negative, and the Conservatives' vote remains solid. So, and there are some Conservatives who hey, you lost an election. The last time the Conservatives lost an election, and the time before that, and the time before that, they all got a new leader. So why shouldn't we do it this time? Well, because Pierre Poilievre made massive gains with workers, especially in the union, and young people. And if that trend continues, there's going to be another influx of young people. Those 16 and 17-year-olds that couldn't vote, they're going to be able to vote next time. And trust me, when they start paying taxes and potentially having to pay rent, they're going to be coming out in droves for the Conservatives, hopefully. And again, I'm going to do my best to try to get as many of these young voters as possible to come over to the Conservative side, because they need to. But the fact that you see this huge flux of young men specifically going right is good. So if Pierre Poilievre was not the Conservative leader, if he was removed somehow, I do think they have other strong leaders, but you're kind of undoing what Pierre Poilievre does. He is loved by his supporters. And again, it's very difficult to get 41% for the Conservatives. Could Michael Barrett do it? Maybe. He's very good. I like Michael Barrett. Larry Brock, Melissa Lansman. I mean, again, there's a lot of very good candidates who could be a good leader. But Pierre's the guy. He's the guy who's built the trust. He's the guy that's been saying all these very good things for 2 years. He's yet to prove it. And as I've said many, many times on this channel, I'm very skeptical. I do not trust politicians. But if I had to pick one Canadian politician to trust, it'd be him. I don't know if that's saying much, but that would be the choice. He's going to hopefully get a chance to prove it, but because he hasn't yet, I want to give him a chance. And so do many, many other people, because they think that when he's prime minister, he's going to cap immigration, he's going to build the homes, he's going to cut the red tape and the bureaucracy. And they think that, the inflation's going to go down, they're going to stop printing money, and all these good, wonderful things. Keeping criminals in jail, right? All the things that people who have common sense actually want. But then, as we know, the Liberals came in, scared everyone. Trump kind of helped out with that because he wanted a Liberal to win. I don't know if he actually knew that. I don't know if he knew the effect he would have before he put the tariffs on. But I think when he saw the results of what was going on, I think he was pretty happy about it. and I've asked this question before, let me know in the comment section, if you were Donald Trump, who would you rather deal with? Mr. Burns, or a guy who's been the leader of the official opposition and has been labeled as an attack dog for the last 2-3 years? Right? If I was Trump, I'd want to deal with Carney too. I mean, if the wind blows too hard, that guy's going to fall over. Or do you want to deal with a tougher, stronger, younger man? No thanks. But since I'm not Trump, and since I'm Canadian, and I want what's best for this country, of course I want Pierre Poilievre to win. But let me know what you guys think about these numbers. I think they're very interesting, and it's crazy how you see like Nanos being, showing one thing, and then Abacus, who's way more accurate, showing a completely different thing. It's very interesting. I wonder what the strategy for Nanos is that, but let me know what you think. Please don't be shy, and please also don't forget to like and subscribe once again. It really does help, and I appreciate you so much for doing that. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new one.